Welcome back to the channel. A little bit later in the film, I'm going to go into those outdoor enclosures, look at those snakes that we're keeping out there, how they're progressing. It's kind of summer. We've had a couple of summer days now, it's June. We've also had a couple of incredibly cold days and cold nights for sure. But first, sad news, I think. I want to tell you why I've been getting rid of or trying to find homes for some of my very best snakes in my collection, really including my flagship pair of yellowtail crebos. Why over the last few years have I built up some of the snakes I've always wanted, some most amazing stuff, grown them on from hatchlings, some of these guys, into stupendous animals, got them all through that stage, old enough and big enough to breed, bred them, produced some excellent offspring. Why would I be getting rid of them when, if nothing else, they're at the prime of their value? I'm going to tell you why, with a tear in my eye, the plans for the future and what's going on here. Oh, by the way, get on the website. If they're still available, they'll be on there now. UK only, really, but have a look on there and click on the website anyway, because the new stock that's going to hatch this year will be on there too. Anyway, see you in a minute. I've even listed this one on the website. Beautiful, look at that. Blacktail Crebo, yearling, really stunning looking animal. Again, if it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But look at that. Nothing else like them. Different to all the other dry mark on. More like a, people say, a king cobra. Wow. Amazing. Really inquisitive. Kind of semi-intelligent, seemingly, for a snake. You know, a bit more about them. Certainly beautiful species for sure. So why am I getting rid of some flagship animals in my collection? I've been breeding snakes now for several years. I've been keeping snakes all my life. And I've built up to some of the things I've always wanted. Black-headed pythons, dry mark on blacktail crebos, yellowtail crebos. The black-headed pythons have already gone a few weeks ago to a breeder that really specialises in Australian pythons. Now the yellowtail crebos are up for sale. So what on earth's going on? Well, an awful lot's changed. I now run two separate businesses to do with animals. Raptor Exotics, which pays my wages, which I've been running now, set up 15 years ago or thereabouts, and the Falconry Centre at Icarus as well. I'm doing what I love doing, but it's taking up so much time. And what's happened is I'm enjoying my work, but it's all about work. And then when you add in a reptile room and breeding snakes, it's full on, especially in the breeding season. Once those eggs are hatching, it is full on. There's just no available time. And that means my own personal falconry through the winter has massively suffered in the last 5 years. I don't get to go herping hardly at all. If I have a day out with a wife now and again, and it's somewhere there might be adders or something, I'll have a poke about for a little short while. But I don't get to go out in nature specifically to do the stuff I enjoy. I walk down the river, I walk through the woods. I'm usually picking up lichen-covered twigs, rotten wood to feed to the invertebrates here. There's always a work element involved. Fishing's something, my passion of years ago. Hardly ever get to go. I don't go fishing. I want to take a bit of river fly fishing and so on. So my passionate businesses have just become the only thing I do. Times have changed. We had an energy crisis 2 years ago in the world, but here in Britain, it just killed the reptile market, especially snake keeping. People just got rid of their stuff. They panicked that in the winter they'd be made homeless by the soaring cost of electricity and so on. And it hasn't recovered. We've had another winter where things were better. It hasn't recovered. So I'm breeding some amazing, amazing species of snakes that I've always wanted to breed, and not that many years ago would have done anything to get hold of. Some interesting stuff. 4-line snakes, Russian rat snakes, not that rare in captivity. Asclepian snakes, but still hard to get. But the Drymarchon, oh dear, the indigos and the crebos, you know, something I dreamed of having since a lad, let alone the opportunity to work with these snakes, grow them on and breed them. But realistically, even now, I've got snakes that are hatching and going to hatch over the next few weeks that have almost got no value. And they think, oh, Dave, you greedy breeders, nothing to do with that. If they're costing more to get to the point of sale than the cost of breeding them and producing them is kind of pointless, because that means I'm putting all this time in that I don't have, only for other people to benefit from. Worse still, if you give them away or sell them really cheaply. So I've given a lot of snakes away the last 2 years to well-meaning youngsters as well as other keepers of snakes. But if you have to advertise them for next to nothing, you are knowingly, unfortunately, allowing those animals to go to people that are just getting them on the whim, because they haven't had to make any effort to get them. They haven't had to work hard to get the money to buy them. It's the same with all animals. If you just give stuff away, they fall into mostly the wrong hands. Often people then that will try and sell them on and mistreat them, and certainly won't keep them for very long. So it's almost becoming a downward spiral at the moment. I'm putting all this time into these things. I'm not able to find good homes or really enthusiastic homes for these rare and amazing offspring or unusual offspring of snakes I'm producing. But worse still, because of all the stuff I'm doing, I'm not enjoying a lot of the snakes I've got. Yellow-tailed Crebos, the male's huge. I delight on showing him off on our weekend open days at Icarus Falconry, where I open to the public, and I can, well, usually bank holiday weekends, I do a snake show. And people are in awe. They've never seen anything like a giant yellow-tailed Crebo. People don't even know what it is, but they've never seen a snake so beautiful. But for that once or twice or a handful of times a year, I'm not actually enjoying my own snakes. And the thing is, the yellowtails, the black-headed pythons, and some of these bigger animals, they were all destined to be set up at work in big naturalistic enclosures where the public could enjoy them. I've certainly got to the stage in my life where I don't just want to keep stuff in boxes for me. I actually want to get them out there. YouTube channel, that's why it's here. But I really like it to let the public appreciate, love, and become passionate about animals they never even thought they'd ever heard of, let alone thought existed. And that's not happening. We're in a crisis again now. We've got through the energy crisis, but electricity is still prohibitively expensive to set up big enclosures that need heating at work, proper, good, big, natural enclosures for these animals. But also, people just haven't got any spare cash in the UK. And this is 2024, probably the world. The world has become run by corporate greed. The politicians are puppets to the big multi-billion-pound corporations. In the UK, our water companies have sucked all the money out of water systems and just took it amongst shareholders, divided it up among shareholders. People are making billions out of what should be, I'm not going to say government owned, but the stuff that we need, electricity, water and so on. We're being fleeced. And when it comes to water, the whole system's collapsing. It's a disgrace. Our rivers are polluted from corporate greed. But we're being sucked dry. I don't think it matters who we vote in. They're all puppets now for these big corporations. But no one's got any money at the moment. So I can't set these things up for the public to see. I don't have enough public coming in that would pay enough to run these enclosures. Does that make sense? So I've now got big snakes in boxes, which was never the plan. I wanted them to look stunning and beautiful. It's time to bite the bullet and realise that there are other breeders out there that would love to keep and breed things like yellow-tailed Crebos, the black-headed pythons, so on and so forth. So my analogy is, if I had a really world-renowned, sought-after piece of artwork, but it lived in my attic, I'd just sell it. I wouldn't keep it as an investment. I'd sell it to let someone else appreciate it who can afford to hang it on the wall and has the time to look at that art. It's the same for these animals. I'd rather someone else has them that's going to really love and appreciate them and spend time loving and appreciating them than me just have them in boxes where I can get them out now and again and show them to the public. But let me show you this gorgeous snake. Is that just amazing? Well over 8 feet long now. An absolute giant. Beautiful too. Look at this. What an amazing, amazing creature this actually is. The best snake I've ever owned. The most stunning and beautiful and unusual. Look at that. And indoor lighting doesn't do him any justice at all. This guy is absolutely stunning. He's heavy, solid muscle, inquisitive, Quite intelligent for a snake, I think, the dry mark on. Look at that. Ooh, look at that. Absolutely amazing. I'll show you his girlfriend. We've got eggs running now. This is a genuine breeding pair. Let's pop him in. Back in his enclosure. But hang on, so you can see close up how beautiful and colourful. Look at the tail colour. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous for a snake. At the end of the day, he's in a 6x2x2 viv, whereas I want him in something like a 10 foot by 4 foot enclosure. Maybe he goes to someone, I think, that can do him justice now. Here's his girlfriend, much younger. He's around 10 years old, I think. This girl, 2019 hatch. 6 feet long, but a much younger animal. But she's been held back for her stunning yellowtail as well. Try and get some really good looking youngsters. Very lively snakes, yellowtails. They're not like the blacktails, they're not like the eastern indigos. Always on the move, long, on the run. She won't get as big, females don't get as big, but you get the idea. Another stunning, go, 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 go. Stunning creature. Look at that. What a pair of snakes they are. So not everything's going. I still need a team of animals for Raptor Exotics to take to schools, and that's not just one of everything. You need a bit of a cross-section of invertebrates, snakes, reptiles, amphibians. Things like the grey-banded king snakes, I'm still looking to breed those. But I'm certainly, some of the stuff I have bred, like the yellowtails and the black-headed pythons, are going. I've put the black-tailed crebe on there. But I've still got things like my monitor lizard that I want to grow on and build a really big enclosure for. The blue-tongued skink, stuff like that that's interesting still for me. Stuff I haven't indulged myself with yet, even though I'm really old, and stuff that I need for schools for sure. But when it comes to snakes, the stuff I'm really going to focus on is the North American and the European species. Those animals that can brumate for 6 months of the year, and they do, pre-breeding if you like, which gives you that almost like a season. It gives you a bit of downtime. And then those species that can be housed outdoors in outdoor setups, which are almost biologically self-keeping, self-cleaning. You just feed them, that the public can see at work in outdoor enclosures powered by the sun. And that's a big difference. And it's certainly a big fascination of my reptile keeping right now is outdoor enclosures, because it turns out the world's your oyster. So many species are set up to live outside, behind glass, depending on the enclosure where you site them. Some need a bit more shade, some full sun, but there's so much stuff that can be kept outdoors. That means once you've built enclosures, it's free, apart from some food. The public can see them, my big passion. And they're low maintenance, very low maintenance, and I can observe them in very natural setups indeed. Even in here, some of the future projects I'm probably going to list. So this is a green cat-eye snake. Either this phone's not focusing or my eyes are worse than I thought. Green cat-eye snake. And this girl here, it's actually assist fed still. I bought this for 250 quid. As an assist feeder. It's still assist feeding. I'm probably going to list it on the website for 150 for anyone specialist enough to want something incredible bargain, but something they've got to take a bit of a risk and put a lot of work into, maybe, but beautiful. So even future projects that now I'm probably not going to come to anything. I should keep my mangroves and some of the other classic things, but this will probably be up for sale as well. So check out the website, check it out for stuff that's hatching, of course, as well as stuff that's available from my own projects, really. Hello. Things like the Barons Racers, and a 4-foot Viv, but nice and natural looking. They're certainly here to stay. And then we've got things like the false water cobra pair. I've sold off all my falses except my original pair, and I shall keep these out of nothing more than nostalgia value. Don't you come out, they're so hungry this time of year. Once the weather gets warm, these things will really kick into feeding. But still got my original breeding pair of falses. We'll have some more this year, but they'll stay just because my first snakes I really tried to breed a long time ago. Going to keep these. The dwarf ticks, Kayawadi Island locality, and definitely want to breed those in the future, as well as the golden child albino. Again, unrealised stuff that I still want to work with, and to be honest, these are great for my school visits. They go on a few, and they're a good sized snake. They're not too big, but they're big enough for kids, so they've got a job, and they're going to stay. They've got a nice natural enclosure, which, to be honest, is what I'm going for in this room. A few enclosures in the reptile room that are bigger and beautiful, more like having a nice aquarium than having stuff just in boxes that I'm not really having the time to enjoy like I should. I can enjoy this by just being here, observing some of the Crebos and things. You know, I've got to get them out and do something with them, and that time is sadly just not there. So hopefully my sadness will be someone else's joy. Check out the website, keep an eye on it. As well, of course, don't forget, if you're in the UK, check out the Marketplace website. I've set it up free to use for anyone. Get on there, put your stuff on there, have a peruse on there. Categories for things like royal pythons, too many of them on there now, as well as European species and invertebrates as well. If you're in the UK only, really handy free website to use, Marketplace website. Feel free to share it, share this video for sure. Hopefully it'll help someone out. Hopefully my loss will be someone else's amazing gain. See you in the next one.